Wire are our special guests in the studio today. We have Colin Newman and Graham Lewis. How are you guys doing?
Fine.
All right.
A little bit jet lagged, or
99th time.
can you get jet lag coming from Los Angeles?
It was quite a quick flight actually. Once I actually managed to get it off the ground and managed to taxi in.
I always find that coming back from Los Angeles is more of a hassle than going because, you know, you get that 3-hour change, so you have 5 hours in the air and then 3 hours you got to change your watches ahead, so you kind of lose a lot of time.
We've been losing time all over the place, so you know what I mean. It's hard to tell, really.
That's right. We instead of going on at 9 o'clock tonight, we go on at 6 o'clock. I think that's very civilised.
LA time.
How long has it been
6
since
o'clock LA time?
How long has it been since
o'clock.
you did a 6 o'clock gig?
Many.
Eric's.
No, Eric's.
That
No, it was
2:30.
2:30 in the afternoon or something.
2:30
Like
in the
that.
afternoon.
What was that, like a store?
No, this is a really good club that used to be in Liverpool, and what they used to do is they used to have what you'd call a juvenile show,
A matinee.
under 16.
All ages type thing?
Yeah, terrifying. They're really smart in Liverpool. The kids really vicious.
Kids
good
were
sense of humour.
were much worse than the grown-ups.
Yeah, I seem to remember Mike Thor disappearing under a pile of them when they were asking for his autograph. We managed to slink off.
So since you were here a couple weeks ago, you've been doing a lot of work, I would assume, traveling around the country, playing gigs, doing TV shows and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Was it a good experience?
Yes, for me. I enjoyed it immensely.
And you, Colin?
It's interesting. We got to meet lots of people.
Lots of intelligent people.
And we played guitars on stages. and then we met more people, and then we went on aeroplanes, and then we went into hotels, and then we came out of the hotels, and all that kind of thing.
The rest is history.
And we had a day off. We had a day off in Seattle.
We had the day off in Vancouver.
And how was that? Did you get to see the sights?
Yeah.
The northwest is very nice.
So you're saying
America is a very
quite
nice
beautiful.
place of the American continent.
So you're saying you met a lot of intelligent people. Did that surprise you? You said it in a way that seemed like, well, I was surprised to meet a lot of intelligent people in America.
It didn't surprise me at all, actually.
No, I
don't assume Americans aren't intelligent. There are enough Americans for them to be every kind conceivable kind of thing you can
I
imagine.
met some dumb ones as well, but you know what I mean, on the whole, you're doing all right here.
Now, we were talking last time about numerous things, and I wanted to rehash some of those things as well, talk about some new orders of business. I heard at the Maxwell show you did here last time that you played drill twice.
Did we?
Did we?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I heard you
We
did
did.
two different versions
Oh,
of
of
drill.
course.
And then the subsequent
yeah.
night, you played ahead twice at the Ritz, and I was wondering if that's like the big thing with the encore. Is there, say, not enough material from the new album to fill up that much time, so you want to do another version of one of the same songs? Or
Very interesting thing, this. You see, we're quite naive souls at heart, you see. And we basically made a set of all the ones that we could play, and we played it. And then we forgot about the people need encores, so we had to choose one of the ones that we'd done already. But we got smarter, you see. We don't play so long in the set, but we play an encore.
And which we're not going to tell you what it is.
We're not going to tell. Oh, I'm not going to tell you what it is.
is that for tonight?
Yeah, but the set is actually shorter. I mean, it's exactly the same.
That's not actually true. It just seems longer.
Yeah, I'd heard the second version of drill was like 20 minutes long, just an unbelievable jam.
Was it?
I don't. Was it 20 minutes long?
I don't know.
No, it can't have been. It might have been 10 minutes. In San Francisco, it was 16 minutes.
And how's the response been, say, in San Francisco, Seattle, LA, all those places?
It's been different in each place, but I'd say very positive. The audiences are very different. You know, it's saying that thing again about what's it been like being in America, and each place is very different. You know what I mean? A lot of the places are a long way away from each other. You know.
Have the alternative stations and people involved with that sort of scene been treating you guys well?
They have indeed. Yeah,
Yeah,
you seem to have a good
yeah.
network of people. Yeah.
Well, we try. We definitely try. There were some things live that I was very impressed by. You know, certain sounds that are on the record that I thought were keyboards were actually guitar lines. Certain lines that I thought were guitar lines were actually bass lines. Particularly the opening of Ahead, that bow, bow. I didn't know that was a bass at all. I thought that was a keyboard, and I thought it was really wild how you got the sound across live as well as on vinyl.
Thanks.
No problem. What kind of bass is that? It looked really wild. Called the Rail or something like that?
Yeah, it's made by Westone.
Where'd you pick that up?
I bought it in London. I actually went out to buy an amplifier. This is when we decided we were going to rehearse together again. And I went to the shop and the man got this thing out to demonstrate the amplifier, and I didn't like the amplifier, but I bought the bass off him immediately. I sort of flogged. I had a Fender Jazz for all those musos who were interested, which I didn't like anymore, so I got rid of it, because this thing does what I need, because just the position, it's very comfortable, it's light.
Yeah, it's very minimal looking.
It is, it has one pickup. It's industrial, yeah, or agricultural, I'm not sure actually.
It's also very loud.
It's a very agricultural bass. We can till the field with it when the tour's done.
It's quite interesting, because I had to have a running repair done on it, because it wasn't. It does have certain design faults, but I managed to get that fixed in Toronto. And the people who owned the shop, who specialise in guitar repairs, they were rather amused by it, I think. They were very charming.
By the actual instrument?
So they were saying, oh yes, Westone, yes, bargain basement. I think they haven't been releasing these kind of things in America for about 2 years. You know,
kind of a snooty attitude?
No, they weren't. They were really nice, actually. They did a brilliant job on it.
And also, we were talking last time, I was curious about how you did Up to the Sun, or Vivid Riot of Red, if you will, live, and then I saw it actually, and it was quite interesting. How have you found the response to be to just you two walking out doing this a cappella song?
Well, it changes from night. Sometimes you get people talking all the way through it. Sometimes you have a kind of hushed silence.
Sometimes tears.
Sometimes tears. Sometimes I try clapping along. I always manage to do it. Or I always purposely go out of the rhythm of the clapping when I'm singing.
I always go with the clapping. I like rhythm.
So you have that nice counterpoint there.
Yeah, it's a mess sometimes.
You never
sometimes Graham sings it a little bit too high for me.
I lost Colin in San Francisco.
You never get Bruce or Robert to join you for a barbershop quartet style version?
No, Bruce would be at the bar by then.
Buying out the bar. So there have been a couple of other interesting things that have occurred along the way in between the last time we spoke and now. Most notably, the late show you did with Suzanne Summers a couple nights ago. I guess it was Wednesday night. That must have been quite interesting. Was that your first nationwide TV appearance?
Yes. Our debut on nationwide television.
As the lady said as we stepped out, this way to stardom.
Were you nervous about it at all, or was it just another...
Not slightly.
No?
I personally wasn't. I thought the whole thing was a hoot.
Why is that so?
Well, she's so talented, and it's quite frightening, you know, that when you've actually got to confront somebody with so much style and elegance.
Oh,
who's got so much experience.
I mean, television is its own little medium, and there are certain kinds of rules and game. The best thing about television is that you have to be cooler than the medium, because people get very excited about being on television. People who want to be famous, they get terribly excited about television, and then they get carried away, and then they end up looking like complete and utter fools, yes. And the best thing about television is not to worry about it too much, just do it. What looks best is what comes naturally. If it works anyway, then it should work on television.
I heard there were a couple complications involved, whereas you expected to play 2 songs, and what happened with that?
I think they probably decided that they wanted to cut our contribution to the minimum possible.
But I heard it was something like you guys didn't want to use the drum riser and be, a typical band.
Oh, that's pathetic. That's pathetic. We never use a drum riser. I think there are thousands of people who would vouch for that. They've never seen a drum riser on this tour, and Robert doesn't play on a drum riser. He plays on the same level as everybody else.
Right.
It's necessary for communication. And all Robert said to them was, I don't want to use it. And they said, why? And he said, because I don't use one. And he said, why do I have to use it? And they didn't have an answer. So 24 men stood around debating the point, and it took for about half an hour, and it took them about 5 minutes to strike it from the set, which seems to be a rather excessive use of time.
Exactly. When you're paying all those 24 guys to stand around and scratch their heads pondering, why doesn't this guy want to use our drum riser, you know?
Well,
I wonder why...
Well, the thing about it is that they'd already been informed that we didn't want one before we arrived, so I don't think that we can be really accused of being awkward.
Was that part of the reason why you didn't get 2 songs as originally planned?
I haven't got a clue. You'd have to ask the powers that be.
Ask the powers that be, yes.
Were they like ready to get rid of you guys, or what was the story with that?
No, it was
No.
it
Were
was
they pulling
fine.
you
It
off
was
at the
all-
hook?
No, it was all fine.
No.
It
We
was all
agreed
fine.
with them. It's going to be 3.5 minutes. We
Yeah.
did 3.5 minutes. That was all.
And you
It's
played.
okay. I mean, you have to play within certain rules for television. If they want to change the schedule, it's no good playing the artiste and complaining or whatever. I mean, they're arranging their schedule for what they think makes a good television show. You're just a segment of it. It's
Yeah.
not the Wire TV show, for God's sake. You know. It's someone's national TV show in which we appeared very briefly.
I thought we were charming. Actually.
WTV, Wire Television. Turn the little M-
WIRE.
Turn the M upside down from MTV, and then you have.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
But
Maybe later.
I heard that you played drill,
Yes.
and was it the regular, usual version, or did you like?
No, it was a 3.5 minute.
So you had to
version.
tailor make your stuff for.
No, we always play it differently anyway. There's a certain set format and certain cues
There's a
that we have in the
latitude.
playing, which enabled the verses and choruses to happen in the right place. So we were able to edit it sufficiently. We chose to do drill because A, it's very wire, and B, there were some performance possibilities in it.
It's
Such
an
as?
Well, drill is an event.
I could do a
Well,
bit
I
of
suppose.
dancing.
Yeah, you can do a bit of dancing. Is that what you call it? I don't know.
Okay. Do you think doing something like that live nationwide late night TV thing, would really help your careers a lot, or do you think a lot of people would be just watching for the sake of watching, got home late from work and wanted to unwind, and they're pretty much indifferent to Wire per se?
I think that's probably what 99% of America thought of it. I mean, it's just something that happened in front of their eyes, just another piece of information. It doesn't really, I mean,
Who knows?
I'm personally not
shadow.
obsessed with having a career. No, I'd rather, I would think about what I do in terms of being able to work at the things that I enjoy to work at. And as long as there is the possibility to continue doing that, then that's fine. Part of the game of working in a public medium is to do what one calls promotion. I mean, this is a piece of promotion going on now.
That's the only reason.
There
you
is
guys
no,
came
there's
up?
no,
Thanks
there is
a
no,
lot.
there is no basic, there is no basic difference between this and doing the Late Show, apart from the fact that more people get to hear it and see it on television.
Right, but I think
That
that
doesn't necessarily. I don't know if that really, if one converts or whatever. I mean, one is receiving so much information through the television anyway.
Well, I found it very helpful in my anthropological studies, which I've been making in America, sponsored by the Greater American Public, and I've got a very useful piece of film from it.
Suzanne's
Viewing-
body.
Yes, of Susan who?
Suzanne.
Oh, Suzanne. Yes.
Suzanne Summers.
Suzanne Summers, yes, of watching a professional at very close quarters.
Was she looking good that night or what?
She was looking pretty good.
Yeah, she has a lot of people who work with her.
Colin has this
Honor.
devilish grin on his face, like kneeling for pleasure, and shared a good time that night.
She wouldn't dance with me.
Certainly not. Certainly not.
Well, she wouldn't even
we
dance
actually
with
only
me.
met Miss Summers on the set
Yeah.
for the first time, and then not at all afterwards.
It's very
I think
brief.
the encounter was brief and all witnessed.
It was, yeah. But when the band struck up for the interval, they were playing a version of Jeepster by Mark Bolan. But she wouldn't dance with me.
Her band?
Yeah.
Really?
They have a
Yeah.
band in the
Yeah.
guys. They play while
In-
the adverts are on.
while the ads are on.
And you try to get her to dance?
Yeah, she didn't seem to be interested.
What a stiff.
She's probably very busy.
She's got to get on with her show, I expect.
Exactly. All right, so back to the music. The album seems to be doing really well on college radio and alternative outlets like that who would be playing it, so I'm sure you're very pleased with that.
That's good.
Have you found any inspiration in America while on the road for new songs? Have you come up with any ideas except for the,
Oh yes,
I don't have-
I've got 2 books full.
really?
I don't suffer from inspiration.
That dreaded disease.
Yeah, inspiration's not the right word. I don't know. I think
Motivation?
who was it who said it? Can't remember the name of the author. It might come to me later. But as Colin said, inspiration, I think, is the wrong word. I think it's when you do what you do all of the time, then the opportunities to actually realise or observe or capture the flavour of what it is that you're experiencing is more likely, rather than a lightning bolt from
the sky, yeah.
Well, usually they come from the sky or out of the ground.
Yeah, sometimes
lightning bolt
they-
out of the ground right up your feet.
Those you have to watch out for.
Yeah, pretty dangerous.
All right, so why don't we take a listen to the LP, The Ideal Copy. We're going to play Ambitious with Wire, excuse me, on the New Afternoon Show, WNYU. WNYU. From the Ideal Copy, that's Wire with Cheeking Tongues. Immediately before that, we heard Ambitious from the album Ideal Copy, of course, and Wire are in the studio with us right now. Actually, Colin Newman and Graham Lewis are hanging out.
Is that what we're doing?
I guess, hanging out,
Put it
smoking a
away.
couple
Oh, we're
cigarettes,
hanging out.
you know. So, aside from being in town to do these promotions like this one, like the radio store, you're doing a gig tonight, which is going to be very early, actually, and it's at the Cat Club over on 13th Street. Now, we don't have any tickets to give away, but I'm sure people are going to start calling, inquiring anyway. Yeah, I don't know about that. Who's promoting the show?
Cat Club.
They are, because they told us some different outside promoter was doing it, you know, because we usually have a lot of tickets to give away during the week. And
really?
yeah, they said some special promoter was some outside promoter, so they didn't know what the deal was when we talked to them early in the
It
week.
might be Napoleon Grahidi.
Relative of Bonaparte.
No, he's a relative of Amir Fassad.
How do you guys get hooked up with all these wild people? Yeah, right.
I was just minding my own business. And, you know,
So what's
it's
in
like how
store-
Colin got on the Late Show. You know, he's just walking down the street and
And this
as
is
Susan
you.
knows.
Aren't you in Wire? Do people recognize you all around, or is it pretty much low key?
Only on stage.
Yeah.
Quite low key. I got spotted in Toronto.
I have yet to be spotted ever in my life.
Also in Toronto, these two young ladies who were probation officers or something to do with the
Really?
police force, they shouted at Robert and I, were we in UB2? Which was a bit confusing. We weren't. But they weren't convinced about it anyway.
UB2?
Yeah.
What is UB2? Some band?
It sounds like two bands.
Sounds like a
actually.
cross between UB40 and U2.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking, but
Yeah.
I guess not. So you guys don't have the
I
problem.
think she was drunk, actually.
You guys don't have the Beatle problem where all these young girls come up tearing your clothes off, throwing their bras and panties at you, and
We actually, someone did throw their bra on stage to me at one of the concerts, and I offered to give it back because I don't wear them personally.
Well,
And it wouldn't fit my wife, but she seemed to think that I ought to keep it.
you're married, huh?
Yes.
We just shattered the hearts of millions of American women.
I very much doubt it. I very much doubt
And how
it.
about you, Graham?
oh, I'm quite single.
Quite single. I'm proud of it.
Oh, very much so, yeah.
I just have to let people know they're listening to WNYU FM. New York's best new music is the New Afternoon Show, and we have Colin Newman and Graham Lewis in the studio with us, visiting, not hanging out, chilling out, actually. Chilling out with our B-boy stopwatches on. I see you got a white one now,
Yeah, I got it in Toronto.
but you broke one of the buttons off.
It just dropped off. It's a very, very
Cheap thing, yeah.
cheap replica of the black one which I had, which I sold to Mick in the X Line Tamers.
You sold it to him?
The
Yeah.
XX line.
The X Line Tamer.
By their history now?
I think they are, yes.
That tour was their final hurrah?
That was
Yes.
it. Yeah.
LA was their last show.
Yeah. He's smart. He bought it off me for 9 Deutschmarks. It was a hell of a job trying to get change of 10, I can tell you. But fortunately, Mr. Gilbert was carrying part of his sort of international currency market.
How did this guy from the Lion Tamers get Deutschmarks?
They
In
went
LA?
to a bank.
They went to
It
a
wasn't.
bank
It was in
change.
Minneapolis. Actually.
So I don't know if we should talk about this or not, if this is going to be the special encore tonight, but I heard you guys were doing a surprise cover version, and the Lion Tamers joined you in a couple of the shows.
Well, we could only do that with them. We were doing a version of Roadrunner by Jonathan Richman.
So that was only with both bands together?
both bands,
Both
yeah.
bands together, yeah. We don't do that on our
Four
own.
guitars blaring the old Outlaws Blue Oyster Cult approach?
I'm not so sure about that.
No, there weren't any flashing lights.
Actually, no, I saw the Blue Oyster Cult ones. I thought they were pretty funny.
You ever see when they do that encore, and even the drummer gets out behind
Yep.
the kit and plays
Yeah.
a guitar? They have
Yeah.
that 5-guitar attack.
Yep. That
Wall
was
of
the best
noise.
bit in the show.
And Neubauten thinks they're like the kings of the industrial noise. They've never seen that show, I guess.
They've been
well.
too young, I imagine.
So what's in the immediate future? You said you're going home tomorrow. Colin's trying to delay his flight a little. I guess.
No, change my flight's not actually till Sunday night, but I might be able to. I'm hoping to be able to change it to tomorrow night. It should be good.
So you actually want to get out of here sooner?
Well, they fly tomorrow morning because I go to a different destination. I fly in a different time.
4th of July is actually quite bizarre in New York City.
Mm.
I'm surprised. You know, it's something you definitely should see once.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be another time.
Maybe in
This
yes.
time schedule doesn't allow.
I've been away from home for 2 months.
So you're ready to get back?
I'm very ready to get back. Yeah.
See your wife, take some pictures?
See my wife and probably get back to work again.
What are you going to work as?
To this diversion. The next thing that I'm working on is my next record, which we start in late July or second half of July.
The follow-up
through
to...
Commercial Suicide.
Right.
As yet untitled. Actually, I did come up with the title, but I'm not sure about it yet.
Will it be coming out through Cram Discs in the UK and Enigma here? Or is that still pending?
As far as I know, yes. I'm still with Cram Discs, and we have a piece of paper which says that Enigma are releasing it, so I presume, but all things being equal, it will, yes.
And Graham, how about you?
I've got to find somewhere to live.
That's the first order of business.
I'm afraid so. Yeah. Sorry to burden you with my domestic problems, but
He's single.
yeah.
All you young ladies out there.
If you live in London, or I guess somewhere around there.
It doesn't necessarily have to be London. I'm willing to travel.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I'm continuing with my He Said project. I've already started.
What have you been working on? A couple of songs, an album's worth of material?
It's going to be an album's worth. I've got an album's worth of stuff to do, but so far there are only 2 pieces, 3 pieces actually, which aren't finished, and there's just more to do.
So the 2 books you just broke out before, I would assume that's lyrics. Is that He Said lyrics or Wire pending lyrics?
Some are definitely He Said, and some of the others might be Wire. Depends.
Have you guys talked about the future of Wire?
Oh yeah, we've already. I think
We haven't
think
talked
we did
about it,
we
we just have it written on a piece of paper.
yeah, it's got further than being talked about. Yes, we've already done some recording of new material, and we've been playing some new material on this tour, and we need to document that, and we're slated to put more stuff down, and we're going to play a couple of festivals in Europe, and then there'll be a tour in Europe as well in the autumn.
Have you toured Europe promoting this album yet, or did you just come right here?
No, we haven't actually, since the album's been released, we haven't played anywhere, apart from 3 nights in Lausanne.
In Switzerland.
In Switzerland, which we did.
And
No,
those
you're
are
the
the
first.
previews.
You're the first to see it. Yeah.
Apart from Lausanne.
Right.
And those were the preview gigs we talked about last time?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The testing the water thing?
testing the temperature, yeah.
Exactly. So what do you think? I mean, are you guys going to wait a year, 2 years, or is it pretty much unknown? I would assume that Bruce and Robert have some solo projects of their own they're going to work with.
Well, Bruce has solo project, Robert doesn't, and I don't think I'm misquoting him, but what he normally says at this juncture is, I don't write songs.
Which rather makes it rather a problem.
Yes.
No, he's got other plans. He's got other things he wants to do.
What does he pretty much do with his free time?
He's very interested in agriculture.
I read that somewhere, and I wasn't quite sure if it was a farce or if it was actually
No,
serious.
it's very serious. Very
yeah.
serious.
He likes agriculture and travelling.
He's a country boy. He was brought up in the country. His family live in the country, and he's always by far preferred the country to the city. And
Quite understandable.
I think he comes from kind of gentleman farmer stock almost.
He seemed to be a little more of a gentleman than you guys. No, I'm just kidding.
More of a farmer.
So we were talking about the 3 new songs that you played live last time, and Kidney Bingos. I was impressed by it. Seemed very poppy for you guys, though. Seemed like Wire and assaults the top 40 with this one.
Yeah.
You don't think Wire ever did pop before?
No, I do, but I just think this, of the new material, this has the most pop-edged sound to it.
Well, it's going to be the next single. That's why.
Very
Possibly.
catchy.
Well, I don't know about in America, but certainly in Europe.
Do you think Enigma's going to go for releasing a non-LP single when they have this LP to work right now that they're in the midst of heavily promoting?
That's something that we can't answer. You have to ask Mr. Hine.
I'm sure he wouldn't take my calls anyway.
No, he's actually a good player.
He's a very nice guy, yeah.
How about B-sides for that?
B-sides. We recorded another new piece that we also play in the set.
Come back in 2 halves.
So we can expect at least 2 new Wire tracks in the near future, if not
Yes.
domestically available. Hopefully as an import, but you might know that we're having a hell of a time.
It'll be domestic.
There'll be domestic release.
Available
It
as
will.
well.
Yeah, of whatever comes out. Oh, for sure.
So that'll be quite interesting to see a new non-LP 12-inch with 2 tracks at the same time that the album's still fairly new in people's minds. But that should be cool. We're definitely looking forward to that. I liked what I heard live, and hopefully I'll like what I hear live again tonight.
Yeah, so I hope I do as well. I
Are
like
you-
it. I like it when I like
Well,
it.
we've been practicing.
I should say so. Are you excited for the gig, looking forward to it, or is it pretty much, because you seem a little tired and a little out of it now?
You shouldn't ask professional musicians questions like that.
I'd like to ask him questions like
Right,
that.
Speaking as a non-professional musician, non-professional, non-professional,
You're a professional
non-musician.
Non-professional, non-musician.
You're a professional non-musician, Graham.
That's right. I
You
knew I'd
can't
get it
evade
right.
the
I'm
professional
not tired
side of
at
it.
all, actually. No, raring to go.
But it will be an early gig, so you can get to bed and, up in time to catch the plane tomorrow.
I might go out.
Any plans to return to America in the near future?
Not
very
in
much
the immediate future.
I'd very much like to.
Yeah.
Mm.
But nothing set so far.
Correct.
So we'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
Any messages for all the young ladies coming down to the show tonight? I guess not you, Colin. We better not get you in trouble. We
young
better not
ladies.
even... Yeah.
There's one piece which is called "It's a Boy," and that's only for girls.
Should they throw things tonight?
They can do what they like.
But we want to promote
It's a free country.
It is a free-
I
it is a
believe
free
I
They might be
used the phrase
inhibited,
several
you know?
times.
They might be inhibited.
Well, I think when the general girlies start dancing, I think it adds something to the occasion.
Gets the male DNA and hormones flowing.
The hormones.
The hormones do tend to flow a little, yes.
Right, ebb and flow.
Which leads to a better show.
Sometimes we make more mistakes.
Attention span is waning and drifting.
Oh, you know how it is.
Yeah, I know how it is.
We are all the same sex here.
Have you been to the Cat Club yet?
No,
No.
we're about to go.
We are
there.
just about to go and visit it.
It's very interesting because the stage is quite low. The stage is no more than 3 to 4 feet off the ground, so it's a very intimate setting between band and audience member.
Oh, it sounds ideal.
Yeah, I think you might really
For
like
the
that.
activities that you're suggesting, anyway.
Well, hey, it's easier for the girls to jump up on stage. They don't have this heavy security like
They
at the Ritz.
don't have so far to throw their panties.
All right, so I guess you guys gotta get out of here and do the sound check and all that kind of thing. See
That's
the club
correct.
for the first time. But I would definitely like to thank you for taking time out of your hectic schedules, rushing right here from, I guess it was Kennedy or LaGuardia Airport.
Yeah, that's correct.
Was there a ton of traffic?
No,
The
it's
traffic
very,
wasn't
very quiet.
bad. There were a ton of people, but the traffic wasn't bad.
Take you long to get your bags? I hate that the most coming from
It
LA.
wasn't too bad. Actually, them docking the airplane was the longest part of it. Mm.
And that's about it.
Another domestic problem here. Yeah.
Something we won't really worry about because we're pretty much poor New Yorkers with no cash to get out of here, even if we had someplace to go
Yes.
to.
Well,
Unpaid
we're
college
either-
radio DJs.
It's
Yes,
a big
and
country.
bringing in these exotic species who've just flown in from the other side of the world. And it were just to fly off to somewhere else that you can't even think about what it might be like. Yes, I know. I'm sure it all seems very strange.
I'm sure you know how it is. Yeah.
But it's a pleasure.
So Colin and Graham, I'd like to thank you guys again for stopping down. And the show is tonight at the Cat Club on 13th Street. Go down and check out Wire. The show is supposedly going to start at 9. I'd say it'd probably start more at about 9:30. What do you think?
I've got no idea.
We'll
It's
see
supposed
how-
to be at 9. This is what it says on the piece of paper.
Yeah, so don't think it's some kind of hype where they say that to get you down there early and spend your money on drinks and things like that. Because if you do show up at 10:30, you'll probably miss about 3/4 to at least 50% of the show.
Maybe all of it.
So we're looking forward to that, and I'll definitely be down there. So I guess I'll see you guys in 2 hours or so.
Right.
And I thank you for stopping by,
It's a pleasure, Lee.
and good luck with the show tonight.
And, again, hi to everyone in New York. Well, everyone who's listening anyway.
Do you want to introduce the song?
What is it?
It's the current single, as they say. You
Oh,
know,
the
in
current
Radio Land, hey, wow.
This is the current single.
From Wire's Ideal Copy LP, it's called Ahead on the New Afternoon Show with Wire.